what's going on? It's Rafa Fernandez, your Federation. Here with my beautiful wife, April. So, so today, what inspired me today was something that happened recently with a family member of mine. Okay, so you're always going to have difference in opinions of people. In this case, it happened to be my family member. When I was discussing to her, why I work so hard, her difference of opinions were very different than mine. In my opinion, I believe that you should work extremely hard as early as you can in life. Even if it means some important things with your family or your kids, right? It's important to knock out things early. That way, you can enjoy life later on. But her opinion was, well, I didn't want to work so hard. I didn't want to do all those sacrifices. I don't think it was worth it because I wanted to be there for my kids, and I wanted to be there for all their Christmas pageants, all their big things coming up, which I completely understand. Don't get me wrong, I still make time for my kids. I schedule it all the time for my kids. But she wanted to put everything on the back burner. Fast forward 19 years, and it's kind of like she's starting over in life. And I asked her, because she's a very smart woman, and I asked her, like, how come you having a background in understanding finances, how come you never instill that in your kids? And she said, well, I never wanted to put money and everything above family because she grew up where her mom constantly would put her in the back burner, and she felt like she was neglected by her mom because of how hard she worked and becoming successful. Okay, well, and successful, and she didn't want to do that to her kids. And I was like, look, just because that's how it was for you, that doesn't mean how it is for everybody. So we had a huge conversation, or debate, and in time, I had to explain to her, look, I worked so hard because I wanted to be financially free. That way I never have to miss a birthday or a Christmas pageant ever again. Yeah. And when I spun it that way, she understood. Like, it's just her upbringing was very different, and she didn't understand how it could be, how it should be. One extreme of where her upbringing is, she went to the other extreme where she put everything on the back burner. And now I'm stepping in to help my little cousins learn about financial freedom, learn about the things that she taught early on. And the reason I had to talk to her and had this heart-to-heart conversation with her was because she was telling her kids that she was being very, she was against what I was trying to teach them.
Yeah.
And so when you have your parents conflicting like that, and you have someone like me trying to teach them, it gets kind of hard, right?
Yeah. But I don't see why would be confliction, because you have this 19-year-old, he's got a minimum wage job, has like nothing really going, doesn't have any money saved, like doesn't have direction, like where am I going to go in life? Like, why would there even be confliction? Like, you're trying to help him become an entrepreneur and build something. He's got no kids, no family, lives at home, really no bills. He just pays for his gas. So he's like the perfect scenario where he can go out there and do these things and try to build wealth, because he doesn't have to worry about these kids to put that, might be put on the back burner. Right now, he can just focus on himself. So I don't even see why there was resistance there.
I know you understand, but everybody is different. And her mindset was like, there's so many people who believe that the money is the root of all evil, right?
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? How about now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
No. Me and technology are terrible. I didn't touch anything, I swear.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh no, we can't hear you. So I don't know if anybody else can hear you.
Wait, is it this?
No, it's not that.
I'm gonna see.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay, so it's not the money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's evil, and I think that's what happened. Okay, so which is why I wanted to take the opportunity to explain to people what we should be trying to teach our kids. And another way I can say this is things I wish I would have known. My parents would have taught me at a very early age.
Same here.
Me and April were very poor growing up. I mean, poor. Yeah. We were. All right, let me explain how poor I was. Okay, I used to have to get the 2 pieces of bread, and for the meat, I use the baking bits. I pour baking bits and mayo. So bread.
That is so sad.
Well, that's a sandwich I had to eat. Right? And it was delicious. I try it now; it's gross, but back then I was hungry, so it was delicious.
That's sad. I mean, my it's not that I was poor. My dad was just extremely frugal. Like, we didn't have much money, but I mean, he was to the point like it was 3 of us, me and my mom, my dad, and my whole life we would go out when we would go out to eat. We were only allowed to get 2 plates, whatever he wanted, and then whatever me or my mom wanted, and then we all like shared everything. That's how it was growing up. I thought that's how you're supposed to save money. And when I got with Ralph, I'm like, oh, okay, let's just get a plate and we'll share. He said, hell no, like you are not touching my plate. And I was like, I get to do my own plate and I don't have to share it, so now I have leftovers. So
yeah. So.
That's how frugal my dad is. My dad is extremely cheap. So
And I eat
food. Okay. All right. So number one is teaching your kids the importance of money. Right? Teach that because kids don't understand the money concept. They don't understand like what money really is. They don't. All they know is that when they're born, that their parents give them everything, anything they want. Their parents work extremely hard, and for their birthday or for Christmas, they'll wake up and or maybe they'll lose a tooth, and we'll put $5 in there. But they don't understand the concept of money yet, and it's not until they start to get a little older, like our daughter now. We started really implementing like around the age of 5. She's 7 now, but we had to explain to her everything has a cost. Some things cost higher than others, and so if you want something, you're gonna have to work for it, and you have to get money. So what is money, Daddy? Like money, that little green thing that the tooth fairy gives you when you pull your tooth. But
well, that's why she gets so excited when she loses teeth, because she knows she gets money. So and she's like, you know what, this tooth is worth $10.
It's extremely hard trying to teach your kids the importance of money when adults ourselves don't really understand the importance of money, right? And that's why you have, I think Robert Kiyosaki, he said something like, what did he say? I wrote it down too. He said, that's a funny one. Looking good but going nowhere. So you have these people. I remember in high school, these kids, they have all these flashy, chains and like some new clothes and all this stuff. But look, what did they have to show for it? They just had that, and nothing else was going to go for them. That's why they still stayed in the same place, looking good but going nowhere. All right. Number 2 is teach your kids to be problem-based solving. April, you want to jump in on this one?
Yeah, so problem-based solving, it's most successful businesses run off of you have to find a solution to a problem.
Yeah, then and no one said it better. No, I want it. Okay. Our best friend.
We learned a lot from when we watched DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck, he's like an awesome person to learn from.
Yeah, so here I actually got a little clip.
You gotta show it, yeah.
Yeah. Here you
go. Ready?
Things I haven't figured out yet. Like what your business sales is. Sure, yeah, but the business is everything to me. I want to be a successful businessman like you, because you're like my idol and the angel investor. You can't just set out to make money. You have to find a problem and offer a solution. My problem is I need money. Just give it to me. Dewey. Look at your Uncle Donald. He saw there was a housing shortage in Duckburg, so he's renting out a room at high school. Solution, helping people. And he's just giving back
So yeah, you definitely, if you can find a solution to a problem, and there's so many problems. Everybody in this life, we all have our own individual problems, and we're all seeking some kind of solution. Whether it be buying a home, or you want to get your hair done, or your nails did, or everything you buy in your house, it's for a problem or something that you want or need done. So I mean, it's everything.
If you're looking for your next business, I can tell you a problem right now that will make you just boom. If you want a next boom idea, I promise you this is going to make you a millionaire in San Antonio. Learn how to weave.
Oh, yes. I know somebody who's teaching classes, and she's put in my, I don't have it in right now, but she's put in my hair before. Man, people will miss their rent, but they will not miss getting their hair put in. Trust me.
Yes, like I'm not being dead serious. I'm going to charge you 1 hour to put it in.
For an install, to like, she can charge anywhere depending on the type of hair that she puts in, like like 250 to maybe like 500, and it's not even an hour. Not even an hour. And then you have to go back every 4 to 5 weeks to get it retightened. That's another $50 to over $100 there. I mean,
that's for one customer. That's for one customer.
That's for one customer. Yes. Like it, yeah. And that right now too, it's so hot, and there's only a few. Like if you look up how to put in weaves, how to put in hair tracks, like there's maybe like 10 of them, but she's the number one here in San Antonio. And I'm definitely going to have to put a link or something. She's amazing. So that girls, even boys, if you guys want to get into doing hair, that is huge. I don't think I could do it, but if you like hair, do it.
Yeah. Number 3, there's always more money. And the best way for me to explain this is that growing up, my family, anytime they got money, if they weren't spending it, they were saving it, tucking it under their mattress. And anything they ever got that was theirs, they'd hang on to it. It's for dear life. But for the rich, they're different. The rich thing, when they get more money, they figure out, okay, so I have this excess of cash. Instead of saving it, how can I use it to find a next opportunity? So
do you know what that's called? That's called scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. Most of us grew up poor, or, that's the scarcity mindset. Like as soon as you get a hold of money, it's like, oh, I don't want to let it go. You know what I mean? But you have that abundance mindset. It allows you to do more things. And a lot of people like, what's that one motivational speaker? Tony Robbins. He's a big advocate of abundance mindset. And it's true. Like if you surround yourself with other people that have the mentality, you have this mindset that, okay, there's something available for all of us, not just, oh, like I work in this business and there's this one promotion, I have to get it, like I can't share with anybody else. That's that scarcity mindset. But if you have that mindset that there's so much to go around for everybody, it's just kind of a win-win. And it's true. Like, for instance, being a realtor, like there's so much business out there. There are some realtors that just like, oh, it's all mine. Like I don't want to share anything. But I feel like if you surround yourself with other awesome realtors, it's like, hey, share the wealth. Like there's so much out there. It's not like, oh, just because they got a deal, you're not going to get one. You know what I mean? It's just that kind of example. It's not just with money. It's just with business and how you treat your family and everything. Just, have that mindset that there's an abundance instead of being scarce about things.
Yeah. Number 4 is encourage social interaction, be influential. So here's okay. So growing up, I don't know what it was, but a lot of the guys I knew, they didn't really stay at home. We were always outside playing and interacting with each other and having fun outdoors and really, bonding with one another. if now like more kids are being drawn into the house. Now I'm about to have my first son, so if that son of a gun is inside playing video games on a daily basis, I'm gonna sell the damn PlayStation. Kick him outside the door and figure something out.
Yeah.
And then growing up as
So
a
that
kid,
to build leadership skills, to kind of know, like, even at an early age, like people's mindset, like what motivates people around you. You know what I mean?
I mean, people who are just social, they just attract people. They just attract people to them, and when people are listening to them because they're so social and so approachable and they're easy to talk to, then they become, like you said, a influencer, a leader.
Yeah.
And that's hard. That's a hard characteristic to achieve once you're already adult. That's something that had to be instilled in you early on. That way when you're 18, 19 years old, like my cousin who I'm helping out, people are going to come to him for help even at an early age.
Yeah.
And nowadays social media is so big that if you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone, then you're missing a huge opportunity to free marketing, Facebook, TikTok, all the other social sites.
Instagram, YouTube, there's so many.
Yeah, it's free marketing. So if you can't step out of your comfort zone to take advantage of something that's like booming, in my opinion, that they're just missing out on a huge opportunity for themselves.
Yeah, that's why I'm here right now.
Oh my God, she was tough. She was tough to bring back on.
Oh my gosh.
Developing productive habits. Now, this is something that can always be updated. And when it comes to instilling this in your kids, it starts with something simple, whether it be making your bed, brushing your teeth, getting up, going to school. You're setting up a routine for them, a habit that is productive, and you start if they're productive early on in the beginning, like they did things like, okay, I did this. It's creating a mindset for them that now throughout their day they've already completed these many tasks. How much more tasks can I finish throughout the day? Because they develop a winning mentality early in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
So a good video on this one is actually on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in motivation videos, the Admiral. Have you ever seen that video?
Bed, right? Make your bed. Yeah, it's a really good speech. Even me sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't make my bed every day.
I don't remember the last time you did make a bed.
It's a habit that you need to do. And I'm like, Ellie, make your bed. And she's like, but you don't do your bed. I'm like, oh,
yeah. So I'm over here getting back from the gym at I go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, get back, and she's still like, what are you doing?
Hey. But I'm pregnant.
All right. So for you to know what I'm talking about the Admiral, I'll put a link in the description that we can check it out in your own time, and it's a good video.
Very good video.
Let's see. Number 6. No one owes you anything. Nobody owes you a damn thing. That's for sure. And nobody's gonna straight up come to you and be like, "Here's $1 million." Or here's $100. No one owes you a damn thing. And that is something that is extremely hard for military guys. For military guys who have been in for several, even just who did the regular 4 years got out, military are the worst at this. And the military feel like, okay, I was a sergeant, I was a staff sergeant, I was a colonel, I was whatever, and they get out in the real world and they feel they have a sense of entitlement once they get out. But the truth is, people be like, "Oh, thank you for your service," and then when you apply for a job, nope, sorry, yeah, no, but nobody owes you anything. And as for kids, for our daughter, when she wants something, I said, okay, how are you going to earn it? She wants a telescope. She wants a telescope right now. How are you going to earn it? She wants to create a lemonade business. Cool. Let's come up with a plan, and you could put it into place.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that applies more to, for instance, even though my parents weren't wealthy, that is one thing that he pretty much did teach me. Like, just because you're my kid, I don't owe you anything. So I never had an allowance. I was never like given money, or like I always had to do chores. I always had to earn that money. And even when I got older, he had bought a car for me, but he was my bank. I had to pay him back plus interest. So that, I mean, that's a good thing to teach your kids, because now I have that mentality. Like, I mean, she's little, she's 7, so of course we get her things, a lot of things that she wants. But as she's getting older, it's like, okay, well, how can you afford this on your own? You're getting to that age where we don't want you to depend on mommy and daddy all the time. You're going to be a young adult soon. But I think a lot of this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary thought, because she's 7 years old. You fast forward 10 years from now, she's 17. She's at that age, she'd be already close, if not, pretty close to graduating high school, and she's on her own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to kick her out. She wants to stay home at 18, but she's going to have to pay bills. and I have met quite a few really rich kids, and a lot of them have the mentality. It's like, oh, my parents are rich, so they give me whatever I want. And that's just so enabling. Like, they're enabling them. A lot of this applies too to, let's say parents that do have a lot of money, they shouldn't make their kids feel like they're owed it. I mean, the parents work hard for that, not the kids. You know what I mean? That's why you got to instill in your kid. Just because we have all this money, we want you to succeed on your own. So if anything ever happens to us, you know how to make your own money and be successful on your own.
And the reason, and so the reason why we say that, because we want them to build their own way. We want them to find their own way in life, right? So Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they're not leaving their kids their fortune. They're giving them an amount that they can be comfortable with, but we want them to build their own way.
Just like Scrooge McDuck, his nephews always ask for money. He's like, no.
Yeah. We love watching that for our kids, because there's a lot of life lessons you can learn from watching the DuckTales, which is why I'm so glad you brought it back.
I've learned a lot from watching DuckTales. I'm like, I've learned more about financial stuff than I ever did in school by watching this cartoon. So it's pretty cool. I like it.
There's different ways to earn money. So April she can tell you, she was brought up in a way that go to school, get a good job, and get to retirement.
Pretty much be an employee, pray to God your job has a pension, which most jobs nowadays don't even have pensions. So I mean, yeah, you got your 401ks, but I've met so many older people that they tell me it's not enough to live off of once you're retired, so they end up getting all second, third jobs, and they're in their 60s and 70s, and it sucks, and that's what we were taught. I think we're 32, right? So I think us, definitely older, maybe younger as well, like a lot of our generation was taught, just go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and get a good pension, and that's it. Work until you die, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, how can you instill this in kids, right? Like, how do you teach kids different ways to make money? Okay, so there are a few ways that we do it ourselves. So we actually have a board that has, the bed to clean your room, which I'm not gonna lie, it's always messed up because we have a bunch of kids. But if you clean your room, $5. If you do this, $2. If you pick up poop, I'll give you $10.
Pick up dog poop. Yep.
All right. My daughter loves to go door knocking, and it's sometimes it's tough going door knocking sometimes, and so and for me, I'll tell you, like the amount of people who open the door for me when I have my kid with me is astronomical, as opposed to when I'm just doing it by myself.
Yeah, because you're this big old guy. So they're like, who's this big old buff guy at my door? I'm not answering. But then they see a little kid. They're like, okay, either he kidnapped her or let me see if she's okay.
So when she goes door knocking with me, I tell her if we close on a house, whatever house it was, I'll give you $100 for every 100,000 that we sell. So if the house is worth $100,000, I'll give my daughter $100. If the house we sell is $300,000, but we get the buyer and the seller, well, now she gets $600. So
yeah, so she's motivated. She's motivated to go door knocking, go to showings for clients because she missed out on one the other day, and it was, a potential deal, potential sale. And I was like, well, maybe you didn't want to go, so now you missed out on what, $300? And she was so upset. And I was like, it's okay, you stayed home and helped mommy, so you still get something. But then that was a learning lesson for her, because that actually goes into delayed gratification. That's number 10 on the list, but it ties into that because even adults nowadays, if we get into things and if it doesn't produce for us quick enough, if it's not successful right away, what do? We give up. We don't want to do it. It's like, it's not making me money, or that's a waste of time. Like, but what do you say? The delayed gratification, it's there because not everything, like, it's like a push of a button. Oh, I'm a millionaire all of a sudden. It is hard work. So that was a perfect example of delayed gratification, because when we do a showing with her or door knocking, she knows she's not going to get paid. And she asked me, okay, I did it. I went with you. When am I getting my $200? I'm like, not until we close, babe. So it may take a few months. So that's teaching her already, like, okay, this takes hard work. It takes time. I'm not going to get paid right away, but I'm doing these steps, and in the long run, it's going to pay off. So that's a big one, definitely.
Yeah, and another thing that we also teach too, it goes with different ways to earn money, is that in time, right now there's different chores and things for her to do, but she's a kid, right? But as she begins to get a little bit older and begins to understand all this, then we start teaching her more about what cash flow is. She understands a little bit about what cash flow is now, but setting up systems, putting systems in place where my 9 or 7-year-old daughter can have more streams of income without her having to work. That comes later on, about as she begins to understand, how money works and everything is supposed to be when she gets to that point. So my next part, I actually want to bring in our little daughter. Where's she at? All right. Number 8, difference. All right. Hi. What's your name?
Ellie.
How old are you, Ellie?
7.
7. Okay, Ellie. What is assets?
Assets when you have something in your pocket.
When you have something in your pocket?
And money.
Money?
Yeah.
Assets is when you put money into your pocket. Yeah. What are liabilities?
You take money out of your pocket.
Yeah, liabilities are anything that's money out of your pocket. It's simple as that. Like, people don't understand this. Grown adults don't understand what assets and liability is, right?
I just
assets,
learned
of course. Assets, of course, put money is something that's going to bring you something. Liabilities is going to take stuff away. Now, with assets liability, you have to understand what ROI is too. So, Ellie, what is ROI?
Return on investment.
Yes, return on investment. Now, Ellie, what is a good return on investment?
It is when you buy something and the sales open.
For what?
For hire.
For hire?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You got it. Now, what is bad return on investment?
Okay, hold on. That is when you sell for less.
Yeah.
When you lose money, yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
it is that simple. When if they can understand that concept, then when we can start moving into bigger things, as far as her like managing a business, managing
apartment complex.
Yeah, like her understand those understanding those skills early on. When my goal for her is to retire before she graduates high school.
And it's
That is my. I want her to be.
We see stories all the time. It's possible.
Yeah. So and this stuff we make it fun too. Like we have a video going out soon where we put her on a spot. I'm in the car waiting in line at McDonald's, and I tell her, look, I'm gonna give you $20 if you can ask these questions.
6 questions, and I got it right.
And she got it right. She got $20.
And very good.
Which leads to my next thing, which is how to manage money. Grown adults are extremely difficult at this, especially military. So teaching kids at a very early age is definitely giving them a big head start in life. Now, how bad veterans are, or military are, let me give you an example. You have a private, he's making pennies on a dollar. He just bought himself a new Hummer, or this one dude bought a school bus. Why are you gonna buy a school bus?
Maybe he's got a lot of kids. I don't know.
And so, like, people go into the military and they don't have that financial literacy. So when they get out of the military, they did all these amazing things, but now they have nothing to show for it. And kids, if teaching them very early on of how to manage money puts them in a better position than the teachers in their school, why wouldn't I want to do that? So why my wife actually, you want to talk about green light real quick?
Yeah, so we just recently got her a green light card. Still hasn't come in the mail, but we're thinking, because now that she's doing more chores and it took us a while to explain the concept, because she'd be like, for instance, how we asked her those questions and she got $20. She's like, well, where's my money? But we don't have, we never really have cash on us. So I was like, Ralph, and she didn't understand the concept of oh, we got paid from work, so where's your money? How come you don't have money? And I'm like, babe, it's in the bank. So we ended up getting her a debit card to kind of help her already understand that just because you don't physically see the money, it is still there. This helps us give her a way as well. Okay, this is your money. It's on the card. You can use it shopping online. But you can use it at the store, but we can place restrictions on it. Like, let's say Walmart, I only want you to spend $20 a month on Walmart. So you can set that up. You can set up the chores. It's got a lot. It's actually got a lot that keeps all of us in the loop, so we know exactly where her money's going, what she's spending it on. We control it as far as how much she gets. It sets weekly, monthly allowance, however you want to set it up. But it's got a lot of cool little features. And it fits our lifestyle. I mean, some people like to do physical money if that works for you, but for us, it was always like, let's just get her a debit card, because I'm always like, oh, Ellie, I owe you $5, but I haven't gone to the bank. I never drive to the bank, so this is just a better way for us to keep track, and then for her to see it as well. She can even go.
You have an allowance, right? So we have an allowance for our little girl. She gets paid. She knows she can get $10 every Sunday. She helps out a lot. She's our oldest one. She definitely helps out the other kids.
Yeah.
So we put her on a $10 allowance. Now, if she wants to make more, she has to do other ways to do that. We're not just going to give it to her. And so with the green light, we have an automation where every Sunday she knows she's going to get paid.
Yeah.
So now she has money. Actually, she can play with it. She can see it too. It looks like a little bank statement. It looks like a little cool bank thing. So kind of like your Cash App, or I'm sorry, your USA app, or whatever you got. And she's able to see how much she has in her card. Now I'll explain to her, look, this is how much you have in your card. Where do you want to just spend it on a liability, or do you want to create an asset with this? What do you want? And that's the way I asked her. That way we can. She gets the concept of how to make more money. Instead of living a life of scarcity, she's looking for opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean, I wish this is stuff that we knew 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I know our lives would have been different, but it is what it is. We are where we're at. I mean, it probably would have been so different that we wouldn't be here with almost 4 kids. So, it's everybody learns at their own time. Some people don't learn this stuff till they're in their 50s and 60s and start businesses. Like what, the KFC guy? He didn't start till he was what, in his 50s or 60s?
Yeah.
The circus guy too, right? From that movie. Yeah, he was already older too. It's like, so it's never too late, you know. So we're in our 30s, and I'm glad that we're learning it now, and that we are able to teach our kids at them being such a young age, with the hopes that they'll take it and use it and help them in their future when they become adults, and share it with their kids if they ever have kids. So, you know, it's not for everybody. Some people are like your aunt, for instance, that are like, let kids be kids, let them waste their money on PS4s and skateboards, and don't help them save.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Look, it's not that we don't let our kids be kids, and we've got backlash about this all the time from not just her, but even on social media. There's people who post stuff and like this kind of content, and there's like all sorts of backlash from these parents, like you don't want them to be kids, and it's not that I don't want them to be kids. They still have a good time. They're still going to the parks. They're still playing around.
Yeah.
We just on top of that, like we just still implement these kind of values. That way they have to understand it in what it is, money, cash flow, all that stuff. We don't
because Ellie's still a kid. She's 7 and she's still a kid. She still goes hoverboard riding. She still draws pictures and colors and plays with her toys. And I mean, there's so many hours in a day. And it's like, if you can just, it's just like we were in the line at McDonald's. All we had to do was wait. So instead of listening to music, we were just talking about, okay, hey, what's ROI? What's this? What's that? I mean, it just took what, like 10, 15 minutes? Like, it's not like you have to spend all day like, hey, we're going to sit you down. We're going to drill this in your head. It's not like that. You can make it fun while you're talking at the dinner table. You got to talk about something, right? So just little things like that. It's not like life altering where it's just like, we don't get to have fun and do things. We do, but instead of having these random nonsense conversations, or, you know, I mean, we still have dance parties and we listen to music almost every day, but we do take those few minutes out of the day just to teach them a little bit. That's all it takes. It's super, you know, super simple. Just educate yourself, educate your kids, hope that it sticks, lead by example, and, you know, hopefully they grow up knowing that they had the best teaching that they could, because you don't get this in the school system. They don't teach you about finances. They don't teach you about becoming an entrepreneur or building a business. They're not about that. They teach you how to be employees and be, you know, A students and just fall in line. So it's up to us as parents nowadays to learn this stuff and share it with them. And we don't want our kids to struggle, right? Like me and Ralph, we have struggled so much. And growing up together, learning what we've learned, we've hit that. So now that we've kind of overcome those hills and those challenges, it'll make it a little bit easier for our kids. And that's what you want. You want your kids to enjoy life, be better than you, right? Be more successful than you. I would think that's the goal, you know? So.
And the last one we kind of really hit on, which is delayed gratification.
Gratification, yeah.
So, honestly, you're pretty much already in it. When she's working for something, she has to wait for the rewards, right? So you're gonna work hard, you're gonna get it eventually, but it's gonna take time, right? Building a business takes a little bit of time. When you're doing a fix and flip, it just takes time. When you're doing wholesaling, it takes time to find those clients who are looking to sell their house for a reduced price, so you can get that wholesale deal. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's gonna take time. But when in time, though, at the end of the day, though, you're gonna find the big old gold, and it was worth it.
Yeah, or even becoming a doctor. It takes what, like minimum 10, 12 years? That's a long time. But at the end of it, you're rewarded. So it's not just, you know, being an entrepreneur, building a business. It could be with a career like that too, you know, being a doctor, a dentist, or, you know, even a nurse like I am. Like it takes time and it takes a lot of work. So that just applies to kind of every field in your life. Just don't give up, because if you give up, you're never going to accomplish anything. So delayed gratification kind of fits in pretty much every day, all categories. So
yeah, and so I mean, I just want to make I'm blessed to have the wife that I have, because we think on the same page, and it allows our lives to be so simple. When you have somebody, but yeah. So coming up next week, I have a treat for you veterans out there. I'm really excited. So next week we have a guy coming on. What he does in his line of work is he leverages military experiences. So if you're a veteran, let's say your background was in like 441 for Marines, land force specialist, your specialty is logistics. So he leverages those types of experiences, creates businesses based off of their experiences, and then sells the businesses. So it's a way for you guys as veterans to not only get a really good job and to be on a part of a growing company, but you actually get to see how it can be built from the ground up, and then you can do it yourself. And the following week, I got a treat for you guys out there who are more on the entrepreneurial side, because we're going to talk about HELOC. If you don't know what HELOC is, it's home equity line of credit. I got a specialist coming in who's going to talk more about that. So that's going to be pretty fun. And that's it for what we got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. April, always have it. Thanks for coming on. And you better come on to the next show when you get. She's so busy all the time. She's always.
Look, from now till next week, we're probably gonna have a baby. So just FYI, you guys. So if we have to stream live Friday at the hospital, we will do that. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, so she'll be giving birth. I'll be in the hallway.
That's right. You can be right there while I'm pushing. I need something to squeeze. I gotta squeeze your hand.
All right, guys. That's it.